Hello guys, welcome back to another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing a really good film, and that film is the newest MCU film called Black Widow. Now, I was really excited to see this film. I thought it was going to come out ages ago, but because of COVID it's been delayed loads, but now we have finally got it, and I'm really happy to say that I did enjoy this film. And it was a really good film, and I thought it was better. It was better than I thought it'd be. But let's not start the review yet. I just want to say that I'm going to do the same as what I did for Luca. So I do the good, the bad, and then I do the spoilers, and then my final thoughts. Now, I'll let you know when I'm going into all that, so I don't spoil anything for you, because this is a film. It's a film that is really good, and I wouldn't want it to be ruined. I wouldn't want to do that. So I will obviously do that. I do that in any review. But yeah. So with all that said, let's roll the intro. My new intro. Okay, so anyways, we're going to start off with the good. Now, I love this film. As an MCU film, it is really, really good. It's got such good action, and it's got good humour, and also this is a dark film. It's darker than some MCU films. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But this is a really good film, and I've always loved the action that you've got from Black Widow, and obviously this film has been on a lot of pressure as well, because obviously it's the beginning of Phase 4 and we haven't had a MCU film in just over 2 years and things like that. So it does what it wants to do. It doesn't answer all the questions we've had about everything, but it does work well, and I really, really did enjoy it, how it all worked. So yeah. So with all that said, let's talk about the plot. Now, I thought the plot was quite different to what we've got from some MCU films, which I enjoyed. It's a pretty basic plot, and they don't always stick to it the whole time. You kind of forget what's going on because they'll spend quite a while on a certain scene trying to set something up, and then something going on here and there. But it works really well, and I really did enjoy it. And I just thought it did something really, really good. Because most MCU films aren't that good. Some are, some aren't. I wasn't keen on Captain Marvel. I wasn't the biggest Captain Marvel fan. But I really enjoyed this film because it has humour, it's dark, it's got a good plot, it's got funny characters, it's got characters you care about, it's got a plot that you care about, and it all works really, really well. Now, I thought I wasn't going to be the biggest fan on this because obviously, Endgame spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't do that very well at all. Obviously, with Black Widow being dead and everything, I thought, well, it's a little bit late, and but it works really well. I prefer it being out after Endgame because it works really, really well. I don't want to spoil anything though, but I think it's better this film coming out after Endgame because it works really well. And I think it goes really well. And also, this it almost feels in like a missing puzzle piece between Civil War and Infinity War. And it just goes in really well. And I think it's based at the right time. Obviously, we all wanted an origin story. But this flicks back. It spends about 10 or so minutes at the beginning with obviously Natasha's past and all that. And then it goes to, between Civil War and Infinity War, and then there's some stuff a little bit later. I don't want to spoil anything. Later on in the film, some stuff like that happens. Now, with this film, you can tell where they're at. See, I know this is a bit different, but with Fast and Furious, when they were flicking back to the past in the ninth film, you couldn't really, or at least I couldn't tell where they were at. But with this, you could. I don't know how they did it, but it worked really well. How you knew, you're just like, yeah, I know where that is. I know what's going on here. I know what's going on there, and it worked really well. How that was done, and also Taskmaster as a villain was amazing. Really good action, and how I'm not going to say the gender. They copy other Avengers and all that. Like you see Black Panther and Captain America. It's really, really funny to watch. And the cast is amazing, obviously, as expected, like every MCU film. And obviously Red Guardian is just this sad Captain America wannabe. But he's a really good character. I really liked him in it. And obviously, like I said, the cast was amazing. And I really liked all of it. And it worked really well. The humour came in at the right time, and this was like I'm gonna go into this now. This was dark. This was darker than other MCU films. It's not like what's a dark like sort of Joker dark. It's dark in its own way, and it's probably one of the darkest MCU films. So this is not really a children's film. These films aren't aimed at children, but this one definitely isn't. This is much darker, especially the beginning of this film. Like I was like, wow, like that's a step forward, because obviously with like Falcon and Winter Soldier and things like that, you can notice a little bit more darkness. For example, when John Walker kills that bloke in Falcon and Winter Soldier, that is darker. It's just a little step that's getting darker, and you can tell how it all is getting darker. So I don't know what's going to happen with the future of the MCU, but it does work really well, and I think this film wouldn't have been as good if it wasn't as dark and didn't have all that humour and everything. If it didn't have any of that, this film would probably be one of my least favourite films. But with all this, it works really, really well. So yeah, with all that said, let's get started talking about the bad. Now, a problem I did have with this was the amount of screen time Taskmaster got. Now, Taskmaster is a villain that I was excited to see, because obviously it's been in the Avengers game and Spider-Man, so that's, quite a lot, and it was quite fun to see Taskmaster. And the design was okay. They can't have skulls in China in films, I believe, but I do have a Funko Pop from the game here. And this is a skull. Well, the face looks a bit better. I think it looks more comic-y, at least. But this one, you could definitely see how it's more, like the film. With some designs in Marvel, they're a little bit more comic-y, but some are more realistic. If that's what you want, how you want to put it. And Taskmaster's used as a bit of a sidekick, not really a main villain. I don't want to ruin anything, but I was a little bit disappointed in that. But obviously, like I said, seeing Taskmaster copy the Avengers and all that was really, really fun to see. And the reveal of Taskmaster, I thought, that's cool, I guess. It wasn't I wasn't blown away by it, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a fun little reveal. As Taskmaster and all that, so I did enjoy that quite a lot. And the action in this was good, like I said, but there isn't really much about this film I didn't like. It's just, obviously, I know I had the same problem with Luca, because I like how, Luca and Black Widow are quite simple films compared to other MCU films. And comparing Luca to other Pixar films, for example, it's just a bit more simple. And so is this one. It's not trying to be the next Endgame or Infinity War. It's just trying to give you a Black Widow solo film, and that's what it does. But putting it next to something like, let's say, the first Avengers film, it's not as, it just looking at it on paper, it doesn't look as good, which is a little bit sad. But this film, I think this is going to be one of those films where I'm like, it's good now, but I think I'll look at it back in like 3 or so years and I'll be like, yeah, this is really underrated. This is a really underrated film. I got that with Ant-Man. I actually think that's a really underrated film, and I thought it was okay at the time, but I think it's really, really good. but I think I'll get that with this film. But it's a good film. It does what it wants, and it just, yeah, I really liked it. I really did like this film. So with that said, we're going to go on to the spoilers now. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds like I did with Luca. So I'm going to start about now. So click away, click away, click away, click away now, click away. You got about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so we're going to go into the spoilers now. So if you wanted to see that countdown, click away now. So we're going to start talking about the spoilers and the post-credit scene as well. Now, the post-credit scene I'd heard was amazing. I'd heard it was really good post-credit scene. I thought it was pretty good. Obviously, they're setting up for the Hawkeye series, I believe, which is coming out this year. I think in December. Might be wrong. On Disney Plus. But I really like that. And, you know, how this film picks up after Civil War, I thought was really good as well. And the credit scene is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, who was in Falcon and Winter Soldier, who was there, and she is turning into a villain. It was kind of, they were doing that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but she's trying to break the Avengers up by the looks of it. I mean, the Avengers are pretty dead now, like Iron Man, Black Widow, Captain America, they're all gone. Thor is with the Guardians, and I don't know what's going on with Hulk now and Hawkeye. I don't know what's going on with all that, but hopefully we'll see something like that soon. But they definitely try to rub it in with Black Widow's death, because obviously you also have Iron Man's death, and they're kind of competing against two in that. But yeah, they definitely try to rub it in, and it's definitely going to be emotional watching Endgame again. I don't know when I'll next watch it, probably soon, because I always watch it because I love it so much. But it just, yeah, you know, they did try to rub it in a little bit, but you know, it's good. I enjoyed it, and things like that. And also, you know, seeing, you know, Black Widow and her sister, you know, fight together and all that, it's just really, really fun to see. And obviously seeing her go to her grave at the end, which was actually really emotional to watch. And I thought that she'd go to the grave and find out she was dead. I didn't think she'd already know that she was dead. I was a little bit shocked about that. I don't know how she found out. Maybe one of the Avengers contacted her or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was you know, pretty sad to see. But you know, really, really good. And obviously, the villain, I can't remember his name, who was controlling all the widows. That was pretty good to see. He was a pretty good villain. He was a little bit stupid. I thought he was a bit annoying, but he was a pretty smart villain. And how, you know, he was controlling his own daughter, and then that was Taskmaster, was pretty fun to see. And obviously Taskmaster, like I said, didn't get as much screen time as I hoped. And obviously, you know, the design and everything, but Taskmaster was this good villain. And I think, you know, like with the car scene at the beginning on the bridge, you know, Taskmaster is, you know, the action and everything, I thought it worked really, really well. I don't know how many times I'm going to say Taskmaster, but I love that name. It's a really, really good name for a villain. And obviously Taskmaster is obviously being controlled, so she ends up being a good guy and everything. But yeah, it all works really, really well. So, I am going to give this film an 8.5 out of 10. And I definitely recommend you watch this film. If you haven't seen it, then I definitely recommend watching this film. So, yeah, if you're not the biggest Marvel fan, then maybe wait. But I wouldn't spend that money on Disney Plus. I'd definitely wait. Or if you are a Marvel fan, definitely go experience it in the cinema, because the experience in it is amazing. I love that. I was happy I went and I didn't do that stupid Premier Access thing. I haven't done it once. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that is the end of this video, guys. So let me know what you guys thought of this down below in the comments. You can spoil away. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.